This video is titled Not in Keeping. I got that title from what someone said once as he was burning the library of Alexandria. I think the library at Alexandria was damaged more than once, but on this one occasion it was an Islamic guy, I think, and he was asked what he should do with the library, and he had just invaded that area or something. He had invaded Egypt, maybe, and he said, "Is there anything in there in keeping with the Quran?" And I think the bloke who was, his general or something, said, "No, I don't think so. It's all Aristotle and stuff, And so he said, "Then burn it," because it was not in keeping. And I think there have been other occasions in history when the not in keeping rule has applied, and another one of those would have been, any time there's been a book burning, did the Nazis do that? Did Stalin do that? It's maybe Bibles have been burnt at certain times because they were not in keeping, with Stalinist ideology or something, There would be plenty of times when this has happened. So we humans like to apply the not in keeping rule when the time is right. Now I think this will happen to a lot of content, as they call it, online eventually. Look, it's kind of happening already. You can get your YouTube clips taken off because your YouTube clips are not in keeping with the YouTube terms and conditions. So it's a kind of not in keeping thing, but it's not a very strong one. It's not like those other ones I mentioned. But the terms, YouTube's terms and conditions, and Twitter's as well, and Facebook's and all that, they can easily be expanded, and I think they will be expanded. Look, they're already ideological, aren't they? I'm not saying which side of the ideology I'm on. It's not relevant, But the point is, anything we put online like this, what I'm putting on here, can easily become, at some future date, not in keeping. It might be in keeping with the current ideology, as at the time that I'm recording this, I might be quite fine in what I'm saying right now. But what I'm saying right now might not be in keeping with the thinking in 2025. And it will have to go. In fact, everything I've ever recorded online might have to go in 2025 because it's not in keeping. Or it might have to go in 2035, or whenever, or after I'm dead, I'm relaxed about that. I've never said anything interesting, so I don't care. But I know there are a lot of people putting content, as they call it, online, and people who think that that's going to be their legacy. They're leaving that online for future generations to watch. But there'll come a day, quite likely, because we've applied this rule before, we humans, not in keeping. There will come a day, probably, when community values will change. Maybe someone like Stalin might be in charge, or someone like Hitler, or someone like Augustus Caesar, or someone like the Ayatollah Khomeini, or someone like George Pell, or someone like Meryl Streep might, get total control over what sort of stuff or what should be in the terms and conditions. And they make, look, we all know this, that sort of thing, is quite likely and quite, might well be come about in the future. It's already here in a fairly lightweight way, but 5 years from now, there must be millions of, well, there are, probably 65 million YouTube clips up on YouTube, one for each year since the dinosaurs, and I'm sure a lot of those people have got this they've put a lot of work into that stuff that they've put online, and they might be thinking, well, it's not necessarily for everybody, but I'm glad I've got that up there. I feel like I've left something online. Should I get hit by a truck tomorrow, I've left something online for my kids. But I think not so. I think what could happen is, I could get hit by a truck tomorrow. I've had that thought flash in my head. Oh well, this will be funny if I get hit by a truck. My kids can look at all my YouTube clips, because they're too young, to watch them so far. I've not really told them that these YouTube clips are here, and my wife, I don't even tell her either, because she kind of knows they're here, but she doesn't know where they are and what name I've got them under and all that sort of stuff, because she's not interested, and neither should she be. I'm not interested, and I'm making them. But the point is, I could get hit by a truck tomorrow, and a new ideology could sweep the world, and the way this would happen would be, you'd get a message, like they'd take you. I've had a few clips taken down already for contravening one sort of term and condition, obscure term and condition or another. I'm never controversial because I don't have any opinions, but I am a unalectic. Just made that up then. I engage in a dialectic with myself, so it's a kind of unalectic, So I actually just discuss stuff with myself without having any opinions. So these discussions can talk about Trump, or they can talk about anything really. At the moment, I was thinking about the Capitol, the storming of the Capitol the other day, and I was having some thoughts about that. I didn't actually make a clip about it. I was thinking, oh wow, this is testing the Republic, isn't it? A little bit like Julius Caesar tested the Republic. I had all thoughts about that. But even suggesting that, is may well contravene the terms and conditions of Google some 5 years from now. When a new Augustus Caesar gets in, in Donald Trump's dust, that sort of thing. That could come apart. Could come about. The storming of the Capitol the other day, Capitol, could be just our that could be your Sulla moment. Just the start. That could be, who are those the Gracchi brothers? That could be our Gracchi brothers moment, and 80 years from now, there could be an Augustus Caesar. We could have a whole lot of. Donald Trump could be just the start of things. He could be both Gracchi brothers at once. And we've still got to go through Sulla and Marius and all that sort of stuff. And anyway, point is, because Augustus Caesar was something of a Stalin, and if something was not in keeping with his ideology, his one Rome ideology, it went. So we may have an Augustus Caesar one day, not too far away. That doesn't have to be 80 years. And what might happen is that Augustus Trump, let's call him, whoever he may be. Augustus Biden, I don't really care. But the point is, he may call the big tech firms in and say, I own all you now, and I'll amalgamate you all, and you're all one, and all that sort of stuff. And I would like you to write an algorithm to scan all videos online. By then that might be reasonably easy to do, 20 years from now. Advances in technology and all that sort of stuff. I would like, and anything. I'm going to give you a set of keywords that, if those are uttered, look, let's say it's Augustus Trump, right? He would say, I would like, this used to happen in Rome, I would like Joe Biden's memory to be damned. I would like him to have never existed. Now that they do that, the Stalinist types, the Augustus types. I would like it such that Joe Biden and his family never existed. Okay, so I would like you to write an algorithm that just wipes all YouTube clips that contain the word Biden. And that would happen. That sort of stuff happened in Rome. People's memories were damned. People were damned to be forgotten, and all that sort of stuff. They ceased to exist. It's very Stalinist. It's very Augustus. Now, and equally, it could go the other way. What did I use then? I used Augustus Trump. Did I? Sorry, there's flies here. Augustus Biden might come along one day. The grandson of Joe Biden, or something like that, and he might say the word Trump will be, number one, removed from the English language. All card games, containing the word Trump shall be forgotten. 500 Euchre and all those ones, Bridge, or whatever card games have Trump. The word Trump shall be taken out of the dictionary, and the word Trump, any podcast or YouTube clip or book, audio book or paper book, that contains the word Trump shall be burned. So Trump will cease to exist, not only in the future but in the past. That's how it works. And then, that'll get rid of about 70% of all YouTube clips at the moment that exist at the moment. And this might happen in the future in 10 years' time. Or 20 years' time. So if any of us thinks we're leaving, now that's one example, but the idea of whatever this YouTube clip's called, what was I calling it? Not in keeping. Whatever the terms and conditions are in the future for the collective online, there will be terms and conditions for everything online one day, maybe, and everything that's not in keeping with that. We could see 95% of all online content wiped by an algorithm in no time at all, in a millisecond, in a nanosecond, just at a push of a button. And a lot of people who think they're leaving a legacy, well, I wouldn't be leaving your legacy online. Oh, well, yeah, by all means do, but I wouldn't be so sure that it's safe online. It's fragile, I think. I think everything we put online is fragile. In fact, start putting your stuff, start writing with a pen and hiding your notebooks under your floorboards if you want your children to find them in 20 years' time, because they might not find anything that you have ever said online, you see. It might all be gone, at the push of a button. I wouldn't be surprised at all. It's happened many times in history before, where entire libraries of information, entire countries full of information have been purged. And gee, it's a lot easier to do that online these days. Just write a bit of script and just wipe as much content as you like. I would not be surprised if this happens. So now, even paper's not that secure. Do you know what you should do? You should get some clay, and you should make markings in the clay like the ancient Egyptians used to, even before they had papyrus, papyrus, or however you say it. Do it like the old ancient Sumerians. If you really want to leave a legacy about what you think and your opinions, get some clay and scratch it in, make indents in the clay, and then harden it in the hot sun and bury it deep. And then hope that some civilization in the future finds it. Now, that's if you're really keen on leaving a legacy. But, at the moment, I think Australia is very nice at the moment. And I think the best you can do is just live for the moment, because the future is very fragile, I think. It's kind of zen in a way, isn't it?